This happened in Bethany across the Jordan where John was baptizing. The Jordan River. St. Hippolytus called it the Grand River. In Hebrew, Jordan River means the descender because it connects the Sea of Galilee in the north with the Dead Sea in the south. The Jordan River runs between the two. It's very symbolic of salvation of life. The Sea of Galilee, where Christ did most of his ministry, is teeming with life. If you've ever been to the Holy Land, it feels like Florida. There's palm trees and fish and seagulls and a lot of life. Dates, figs, fruit. But you go down south to the Dead Sea, the lowest point on the face of the earth, nothing lives. It's the highest salt content piece of water on the earth. Nothing is living there. So as we move south through the Jordan River, we enter into death. And John is standing at this threshold between death and life, where he's baptizing, bringing people into the new covenant, the New Testament. Of course, in the Old Testament, the Jordan River also was symbolic. It's where Moses and the Israelites crossed as they left slavery in Egypt into the Promised Land. It's where Naaman the Syrian was baptized by Elijah, Elisha, the prophets. That's where also Elijah left his successor, Elisha, as he crossed into heaven. Elijah, of course, did that. King David, when he's fleeing from his son Absalom, who's trying to take the throne and kill his father, David crosses, fleeing the Jordan River. He fights a desert combat with Absalom, and then when he's victorious, he recrosses the Jordan back to Jerusalem, back into victory. We all need to cross the Jordan River of our life, not just once in our life, but multiple times, and especially in the Advent season. An area that needs purification, an area that needs healing, an area of our life that needs baptizing, if you will, taking something profane and making it sacred. How can you cross the Jordan River on this third Sunday of Advent as we approach the Christmas holiday? And let John the Baptist also be a saint who prays for you, an instigator to your salvation. One thing I love about John the Baptist is he's not about himself. Like the Blessed Mother, who's another key icon in this Advent season, he always points to Jesus Christ. So notice in this gospel, he's asked these questions and he says no to each one of them. Who are you? I'm not the Christ. Are you Elijah? No. Are you a prophet? No. Well, what are you then? He says, look, I'm just a voice crying out in the wilderness. I am just a sign pointing to Jesus Christ. It's good for us to be nothing men and nothing women like John the Baptist. That can be our way of crossing the Jordan River into salvation, by not pointing to ourselves and not trying to say, look how great I am, or how much I've done, or when I failed, look how terrible, or how much of a sinner I am, but always to say, it's all about Jesus Christ. I am a reflection of Jesus Christ. I am God's beloved son or daughter, just like John the Baptist. So may we be healed and may we be saved this Advent season. God bless you.